Yeah. And welcome to Monday. It is the 26th of February. We have an extra day of February this year, 2024. This is the Joyminder Leaders League. And look at all these leaders here today. So excited to have you here. I know we're missing a couple that are normally here. They had other obligations, and that's fine. This is meant to be where we come together, where we can mastermind, where we can share what we're doing. And we don't have an attendance requirement per se. At least not, to show up. So if you are a leader, if you have a platform, if you will, a marketplace that you want to share with a specific group, and you're using Nowsite as part of what you're doing, you are more than welcome to be here and join us. So we start out with wins. Anybody have a specific win from this past week that they would like to share? Something that they've done for their business.
Well, I'm leading up to a win.
Yay. Let's hear it.
I have a presentation for 1 million cups on March the 6th. So I've got my slides prepared. It's like 3 slides. But I know what I'm going to talk about, and I did a little bit of rehearsing this weekend, but today I'm gonna nail it down, make sure I have my outline memorized so that I can talk to those points clearly.
Wonderful. And that's March 6th. That will be Wednesday. It's at 9 a.m. Central Time. Do you know if it's available on?
It doesn't live stream, but they
Does not
can
live stream.
record it.
Okay. So you'll have a recording that you'll be able to share with us later. And it's only 6 minutes. So
Yeah,
he's
my presentation 6 minutes, and it's 20 minutes of Q&A from the business leaders in the room.
excellent.
Oh, I got it.
Thank you. And so, yeah, wonderful. Yay. Congratulations, Stephen. On that, I saw Lisa raise her hand, but in light of what Stephen shared, I also will be talking, and this is live and available to anybody, on March 3rd, this Sunday, between noon and 2 Central Time. I will be speaking towards the end of that time, but it's all on business, and it's on internationalwomen'sday.org is where you can go to register, and then they send you a link to something called, I think it's called Remo, and that's a platform. It's an interesting platform that allows for people to have conversations and watch presentations. It's just different. So that will be, you do need to get a link to that and, spend a little bit of time getting your profile set up, making sure your camera, microphone, because it's not Zoom, any new platform takes a little bit of setup, but my talk will be specifically on using AI in business. And we can't share slides, but I will anyway, because I figured out that I can create backgrounds.
Yeah.
And if you can use your background effectively, you can do slides. So, not asking permission, but I'm pretty sure I can change my background as much as I like. So I will practice that a few times before then, because there's just some things that do better, I think, when you're doing a presentation if you can do slides. So that
Yeah.
is March 3rd. Yep. So there we go. March 3rd. I think my speaking time is just after 1 o'clock. So there we go. Lisa, do you happen to be speaking on that? It's 10 days,
Oh,
2 hours a day. Yeah.
I didn't sign up for it. I should have signed up for it, but I was just so overwhelmed and I couldn't breathe. And so I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, I understand.
I signed up for it, but they didn't receive it, so I didn't get on the schedule. I mean, I sent them a thing twice, but I didn't get
Oh,
on the
no.
schedule. So it's okay. I've got a big. You're talking about wins. I guess it's a win. I'm having a fairly big International Women's Day event Friday at my house, and my house has been in such chaos for so long, and I'm trying to start, you know, regaining. But so I had the email they send out after people register is like, hey, if you're looking for hoity-toity, this isn't it. So
Awesome.
anyway, it's kind of that's a lot for me to try to pull together in we'll
And when
see.
you say this Friday, you mean Friday, March 1st.
March 1st, which is my
5 days.
I did
Right.
my 1 year anniversary
Of your
of my very first show. So,
yeah, so
yeah.
that's a win too. Yay. Wow, look at
So
all these.
tomorrow Wednesday this week, ends season 1, and I'll debut season 2 March 6th. So.
Congratulations. Wonderful.
March 6th is my 1 year anniversary of my show. So
March 1st is
6th.
6th.
Oh,
Okay.
I think we were all kind of close together.
Yeah, mine will be coming up. I haven't really paid attention. I did notice, I think I have 35 recorded shows at this point. So anybody that makes it that long, we're all in an elite status in terms of pushing through and doing podcasts. And it is something you have to love to do. Steven, I know, is looking at it. I'm also developing this for one of my clients. So it might be a great topic of discussion in the future. Lisa, though, you raised your hand. You have a win.
I did, Saturday, kind of to talk to Lady Di, recognizing that my energy has shifted. I went through all the sticky notes. I still have 2 left here. There's just 2, but there were so many. There were this many. I don't know if y'all can see this. This is a notebook with names on it, front and back and front and back. These are all sticky notes of people that I've been meaning to call back and follow up with. So I put them in a notebook. But more than that, I went and found all the other places that I've made notes on people that I'm supposed to call, that I've talked to about now. I mean, and it goes on and on and on. Wait a minute. Oh, here's the last time I wrote all of these people. Like, I have like 300 names of people. Did y'all hear about the promotion that Nowsite has going on? So my win is I now have people's names in front of me, and I have a plan to call them all before the end of March. That's a win, to get them all organized in a spot where they're in my face. I went down to make breakfast. I carried them with. They sat on the counter. I came back up. I brought them with. They're sitting on my desk. They are not leaving my hands until I get to the last one. I'm going to torture myself until I can create what it is that I want in my world.
Let's give Lisa, we do this in Win Win Women, jazz hands, kind of a quiet way to do recognition. I do like it. At first I was like, that's kind of weird, but I really like it now. Um, Congratulations, Lisa. And that goes back to that book that I've shared with you multiple times, the referral of a lifetime. They said if you can put together a list of 250 names, and then you're going to continue to add to the list, because you're going to continue to, there's going to be people on the list that you're just going to like, you know what? They're not my person. And they're going to, or they'll self-choose to drop off your list, and that's fine. But have a 250 person running list that you're continuously keeping in touch with, through newsletters, through, commenting on social posts, which we're going to get to in a minute, aren't we, Lisa? So, but let's talk about, anybody else have a win quickly before we go on to our next part, which is kind of a recap of Friday? Other big wins? Okay.
What was Friday?
Last Friday, so every Friday, we have Now Club. And so I always, if I can, share with you all a little bit of what we learned in Now Club. And so Now Club, we did re-talked about what they talked about on Thursday, which is a private meeting. And so, yeah, being careful, because this is a public video. We've decided we will put these out there. There's some big stuff coming. And what Lisa was saying is that there's a reason why you might want to share Nowsite for everyone. Now, for those of us on this group, we've been around Nowsite for a little longer than others. We have a different base, but essentially they did say that anyone that shares Nowsite with 100 people, they can get their own personal avatar. Now, they haven't officially announced that to everyone yet, but that is going to be the bar for what they set in terms of being able to get your own AI avatar. So that's pretty cool. And one second. So the other things we talked about was just, this is what I do like about Now Club, is Justin and Cheryl were asking us like, hey, so, what do you use most with my AI? Which area needs most improvement with my AI? and those kind of things. So they put polls out for us to answer, and and we respond as super users, most of us, but also they'll ask us what we think our new people do and use and need. So it's a fun group to be part of. It does cost something to be part of it. And of course, as much as I can, I will share with those things with you here. So that's that recap. And that was really all that we had. We didn't really have a Thursday reveal last week. I will share this because I know it's coming up and it's been talked about. The CRM update is happening. I did communicate with Adrian Chenault recently. He said end of February, that would be Thursday, or at latest the first week of March. So it's just a lot. It's a lot of stuff, and I'm super excited. The new app did come out. I didn't see a ton of changes, but you can now train your AI from the home screen of the app. So if you haven't gotten the app update, that's one thing to know if you have the new update or not, is scroll to the bottom. I think the stars are now showing too at the top, like how many stars you've earned. I don't know if I noticed any other updates. There's always little things. But so the Eric AI is not on the new app yet. That's still coming. And of course, the new CRM, they're going to put onto the desktop version first, always, before they bring it over to the app. But I'm excited to see all of that on the app as well. So, yeah, I'm hoping Thursday. Every Thursday I'm going to be crossing my fingers. So it's either this Thursday or the following Thursday that they are supposed to be showing us the new CRM. This Thursday would be the 29th or the 7th. That's what I hear. Good. Awesome. So wins, updates, and then the third thing that we like to do as part of this Leaders League is we do a hot seat. A couple weeks ago, we had Diana, we shared Diana's hot seat. Actually, no, Diana, can you like 1 minute? Can you give us what's changed for you since your hot seat? I'm gonna actually put this on yeah, so you can see it. 1 minute. What's changed for you since you've done your hot seat?
Well, one of the things that has changed, I've had the opportunity to meet with the prospect with the nonprofit that I was concerned about. We've had a couple of conversations. They are considering signing up with the with our unlimited plan. I've also been able to come up with a few grants to offer my services, well, to offer to the company to work with them on. And and
And that's our minute.
is my okay.
Yep.
There we go.
So there you go. Thank you. And I'll
Welcome.
do the same. I had the hot seat last week. Thank you very much. I have moved forward with that. And I'm very excited to be working through the process of putting the whole thing together. Very grateful that I have a second client who may or may not be here. Also interested in that platform. So I appreciate that very much. And we look forward to working, now I have two, eventually being able to put this out onto webinars, share it with many more people, and have a system that will really serve a lot of people. So it's a lot. There's a lot of pieces to it, a lot more than I considered. But that's what this is all about. So thanks for everybody for your contributions last week for me. All right, so I'll stop. And now this week's hot seat. Boop, boop. I have to get backgrounds that say hot seat. Just kidding. We said last week that Lisa was going to give the hot seat this week. And so Lisa, how can we help you?
This is kind of a community hot seat because I'll be honest, I wasn't prepared to do anything on my website. I'd love input on my lisamosby.com, but I just was not in a place to do that. So, what came up for me when I thought about this opportunity to interview you and extract information is how are you all doing your social media? This is what we do is social media, and I get on there and I do my posts every day. I use my AI and I'm doing my posts. But and I'm getting some improvement with engagement, but not like I expected to. And I mentioned it to LeAnn, and she said, "Well, how many comments do you do a day?" I was like, "Oh, I don't comment. I get on a social post, I get off. I'm usually doing it when I'm waiting for at the grocery store, sitting, waiting for to get on a Zoom call. Like I only allot like 2 minutes to do it." And so she said that. Well, she gave me some input around that. And so I kind of wanted to throw this out to the group. How are you all commenting and posting and using social media? And since my AI, have you noticed an improvement? Do you have any suggestions on, what's optimum for us to be doing as representatives of this product?
You know I do, so I'm going to let somebody else contribute first.
You might have to lead the
One of
way.
the
We
things,
have to lead
one
the
of the things that one of the things that I have been doing, of course, I attend the AI. I've attended many it, of the classes at 11 o'clock
Yeah.
Eastern. Um, and what I learned was that you have to kind of warm it up. So you get on in the first place and you start commenting. You like and comment to about 20 posts. Then once you like and comment about 20 posts, then you begin posting. And at that point, it seems to, from what I understand, it seems to engage the algorithm or do whatever needs to be done to the algorithm. And then your posts have a much more positive engagement across the board. Another thing that I have done is I like to find posts that are not producing when it comes to other people, that post real regularly, and for some reason they're not getting any feedback, and I start posting there, and it gets them interested. So I just started doing that this week. I've received a couple of really positive uh replies because they've been posting, and they posted, like weeks ago, and they don't get anything, maybe one comment. But then when I post, I get there's some engagement for them. And so then they're interested in me. They notice me. And so I'm hoping to convert that into a sale eventually, being able to share Nowsite and talk to them about Nowsite.
Great. So you're seeing results from it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So I am pulling up a share screen. And one moment, I want to switch over to the share that I want to share. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to start with Nowsite, and what I'm going to share what Diana just said sounds a little different than what we see on Nowsite's 1, 2, 3. And remembering that, so when I introduce this to people, I'll say, look, when I'm introducing Nowsite these days, sometimes I even minimize my screen to only show these things because all this other stuff, prospect tracking, new prospects, that's all distracting and more expensive. Oh, well, how do you get, I don't need them to see that. I need them to see this. I need them to see getting more engagement here with step 1, 2, 3. Well, this says, this is how you can become more self-confident, trustworthy, authentic, and relatable. If you hover over that word, that pop-up pops up, by the way. If you're showing on Zoom, I think that's very valuable. I'll say, would you like to be more self-confident, trustworthy, authentic, and relatable? And they're like, well, yeah, of course, right? Well, here's the steps to do it. First, post on social media. Second, comment on other people's posts. And third, start conversations with people when they start to comment on your posts. And so that is how it works. You have to start at the very beginning by posting. You have to have some content for people to see. If you haven't posted on Facebook or whatever social media for weeks or months, start here so that when you do comment on posts, they have something to see, even if you haven't posted yet today, right? Because maybe they're online at the same time you are. They see your comment live and they immediately go over. Well, make sure that they have something to see. But what Diana said is the algorithms kind of work a different way. If you warm it up, so to speak, then post, and people are already looking, and you start getting engagement right away. When you get engagement right away, the posts flourish. And that's what doesn't always happen when you post first and comment second, is that now you've posted and the post sits there for 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour before somebody comes and checks out the post. Then the post kind of fizzles. But if you do the commenting first, warm it up, and get people checking your out while you put up your post, that's where the magic can really start to happen. So they set it up this way intentionally, but what Diana said is accurate. Warm it up first by commenting, then go to posting. So let me show you something else. This is, I brought this up. I don't think Dr. Matt will mind my sharing this, but I love the posts that he's been posting, and you can clearly see that many of these are using my AI to post. Now, I'm friends with Dr. Matt, so I get to see all of these lovely posts. Like here, day number 4, fun facts about hydration. What an amazing post. So he did a 4-day thing here. Day 3, let's dive into the not so obvious benefits of staying hydrated. Does anybody see a problem with these posts initially? Lisa knows, so don't answer. Anybody else? I'll give you 10 seconds. What's the problem?
They're not shareable.
Right. Ding, ding, ding. Charla wins. They're not shareable. That little person thing means that they are not, the only Matthew's friends can see these posts. You have to make them shareable. Now, I'm not saying make your whole feed shareable. Mine almost is. But make sure that that little world icon is showing on your post, because if it's not, Facebook is only showing your posts only to your friends. So I shared this with him and he's like, and I said, you want more engagement, you got to do this. So not only does, I need to check in with him. Is he commenting on posts? Is he using that part? But for when we did our thing in Now Club last weekend, many people said their favorite thing to use here is commenting on posts. It's and I like it too. Now, personally, I really like to use it from my mobile app way more than doing it on here. But I'll dive into one other aspect of this. Again, to what Diana said. Thank you, Diana, for jumping in with that. Here's my thanks. Go ahead. Somebody has a comment. Go ahead. I'm looking for a post. I thought if I hit on my network, but if I'm going to go over here to groups, so I clicked on my network first. This is in LinkedIn, of course. I think you can see that. And I go to groups. This is another way to find posts in groups that have not had a lot of comments. And the benefit of doing that is that we're getting more people seeing us because it's in a group. So if I go to, here's 26,000 members of chiropractic professionals, entrepreneurs network, 125,000 members. Let's see who's in there and what kind of posts we can find. And I have specifically, I'm doing this in LinkedIn because there's a really sneaky trick I didn't know about. that I learned I want to share with you. So it's an active group. This person is a second, pinned by admin. Struggling to start your business or sustain profitability. Are you stuck trying to turn your passion into a profitable business? Seats are limited. So it's a promotion again, and it's pinned. So even then, only 6 people have responded and 3 comments. Okay. So here we go. Here's one. Steve Jobs once said, this should be an easy one to comment on, right?
Mhm.
Let's take a look at this one. Once said, and this is a really long post, like I don't want to read it. And I'm guessing no, not many others did. Now, 46 people did like it, but 1 comment. Which do you prefer to get, likes or comments?
Comments.
Comments every
Yeah.
time. So
Mhm.
who's going to stand out here? The people who liked it or the people who commented?
Comment.
Now, I've not read this, keeping in mind, but I'm going to copy the link to this post. Watch how fast this can be. Go over to Nowsite, comment on posts, and I'm going to put the link. This does not work on Facebook. It works on LinkedIn. I put the link to the post in here, and I'm going to hit generate. So when you think, oh,
Mhm.
20, Mary or Diana said I have to comment on 20, but how fast could this be? You could do a couple of these a minute and wrap
Yeah.
this up in 10 to 15 minutes. And if it's going to blow up your
Wow.
engagement, congrats on your achievement. Keep shining bright. Um, is that the final answer? I'm going to generate again.
No.
Maybe I didn't hit generate.
So,
Wow, I'm blown away by your latest accomplishment. Your dedication really sets a high bar for all of us. Keep soaring. Again, in this case, um, comment
Thanks for sharing
on,
Steve Jobs' thoughts or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you might want to thanks for sharing these
Yeah.
thoughts
Yeah.
by Steve Jobs and generate that. And again, you could just say that, but and that was one of the discussions on Friday is
There we
like,
go. That's the
there
right
we go.
one.
Absolute love the nugget of wisdom from Steve Jobs. Thanks for the inspiration. It's a fantastic reminder to stay positive and hungry. Now that's a really good
Nice.
That's
comment.
nice.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
So
Mhm.
this one took a little more effort than sometimes, but worth it. And um now, Stephen, do you want to bring up the thing that you meant that you shared with me last Friday? Because I brought that up on No Club.
Certainly, I'll bring it up. There seems to be some pushback from people who can tell when we're using AI generated comments. And there was somebody made a post, and she's a decent, decently connected influencer on LinkedIn, and she just made a post like she was tired of seeing the AI comments because you can tell they're not real. And that's one thing, but all the people commenting on her thread, and there were many, were echoing that same sentiment. So what I would caution everyone to do is make sure it sounds like you. You know, the AI is not to replace us, it is to help us.
Yeah.
And if it sounds like a computer, people can tell it's a computer.
Yeah.
Right.
So, while we're training it, and it's certainly not perfect when you first get started, and sometimes for a while after that, as you're retraining it, make sure you're taking what my AI is giving you and making it sound like you.
Perfect. Thank you. And
Yeah.
the comments, and I didn't get a chance, nor did I try to, but get a chance to explain it as well as Stephen did. Um, basically, surprise, Justin and Cheryl were like, haters gonna hate.
Oh, wow. But
They're like,
it's true. I
haters
mean,
gonna
there were
hate.
comments.
What's that?
I was going to say it's true. I know there have been a few comments that I've posted that I was really, well, that have generated that I've not been satisfied with
Mm,
because of, just, I mean, even the engagement I wasn't satisfied with. But once I generated the post, what I did was once I generated the post, I went in and changed a few words around. and I was able to post something that was a little more accurate.
Yeah.
I haven't spent the time that I need to go back in and retrain my AI.
Yeah.
That's
And
really
that's
ultimately what we have to do.
And that's what I'm going to show you right here, right now. They did change these icons over here. If you didn't notice, please go through it and for your own sake, and especially if you're showing Nowsite to other people, it's nice not to be fumbling with where things are. So home, write a social post, write a message. They got these in the right order, in my opinion now. They were flipped before. Train My AI now has Train My AI and business profiles in here. So you're teaching it about your business or you're teaching it about yourself under the little train icon. The AI chat is the same. Eric AI, My AI chat, and Help Me Reply are all in here. So Help Me Reply is step 3 of the 1, 2, 3 system. Here, contacts, this has not changed yet. My contacts, my list, my prospects, and enhancements are all there. Marketing has not changed that I can tell. They still have social media in here. I wish they'd remove that. And Teams has changed the icon. It used to be the little circle with people in it. Now it's just a bunch of little people. Um, but what's in it is the same: content, chat, and manager. And don't worry about this. I don't know who has that anymore. So that's, oh, and they took the dollar sign out of the wallet. I wonder why. Anyway, back up to the Train My AI. Do go in here. This is the friendly reminder. You are evolving as a person. Change your AI. Train it. Think of AI as your new next door neighbor that you really like, who likes you a lot, and you want to share the pertinent stories of your life. Share your stories in here. Tell it things about your background, your heritage, who you are, what you stood for, what you've gone through in your life. Share your trials and tribulations as well as your victories. And do that. Just do it and change them as much as you can. Think like me. Add in the movies, the books, the things that are impacting your life. Like I should add one in here that I'm watching the Chosen series right now. I don't know that I've put that in. Favorite movies. So I'm going to add the Chosen um,
That is a
series.
very good movie
It's
series.
amazing. And I did realize, because I have face blindness, why I struggle so much with it. All of the men look exactly the same, except Matthew and Simon. Just saying. Okay, so that for me, I cannot, like, literally cannot tell the difference. And little James has a stick. Other than that, I struggle with every single one of their characters. So, little fun fact about me. But Right Like Me is where I really wanted to go. This is where you make it sound more like you. You know, change this around until you get it there and make it easy by entering writing instructions. I just had an idea. What if you knew your personality? Like the personality reports. If you've generated one on yourself or get somebody else to do it for you, whatever, put those words in here. If that's who you are, put those put that in here. So, because I mean, I am, let's see, strategic, um, achiever, belief, B-L-I-E, B-E, how do you spell belief? B-E-L-I-E-F, I guess, and positivity. I mean, those are my um qualifiers, right? And
Leanne.
it changed those, didn't it? It changed these icons. I think it
Mhm.
did. I have to check the video, but I think it moved a couple of these around. Somebody said my name.
I did. So when you add things, do you remove when you remove the old things, or do you remove the old things, or do you just continue adding things? And does it
Sometimes you have
remember if
to,
you remove it?
yeah. So you have to hit save. But yes, I do remove things because in the learn about me, section. For instance, I put up there, like in October, I said, my husband and daughter are going to go to the Badger, Badger Gopher game. I'm looking forward to enjoying from a distance their father-daughter time while I chill at home and have some me time. And so I put that in there as a upcoming event, plans, goals. And it used that a little bit, but then when it passed, it actually tried to create a post in December about it, and had already happened. So you have to remove, upcoming events need to stay upcoming.
I wonder
So
if you can expire them.
what's that?
I wonder if you can expire them. Indicate the upcoming game that
At this
occurs,
point, it just hasn't. Beginning January 2nd, Jack and I started a 300-day habit of reading. Um, I could add in here too. Jack and I are not drinking on while we seek to improve our health. So that's a new plan that I've got going, right? So when you're done with putting these things in here, hit save. And then the other way to train your AI, though, and although they don't have it in the train your AI section, is to go into your My AI chat. And I go in there all the time and I'm chatting with my AI. I'll show you a couple examples. And this does help to update. Actually, now that we just did that update, I'm just going to ask it. Do you know the newest thing? Just kind of curious. Hold on, I get rid of these captions. They're always in the way for me. That my husband and I are doing for our health. I'm just curious. You won't know until you try, right? But generally, when I do things in here, I mean, I've asked it to, I had to come up with asked it to come up with an outro. I'm not privy to your personal updates unless you shared them with me. So I don't have the latest on what you and you're doing, but I'm all ears. Okay. So it's almost a little separate between, it does access what we put there, but maybe because I just did it, it hasn't assimilated it. But if I do say things like, remember, actually, well, I usually say remember that because that cues it to store the information. And that's a command that ChatGPT uses. So I'm using it. I don't tend to study ChatGPT a lot, but that is one command somebody shared with me that I use. So remember that Jack and I are on a quest to improve our health and fitness through improved diet and exercise, some fasting, and no alcohol. So now it will remember that. And it's going to compliment me and tell me how awesome I am because that's what, by the way, when people ask, that's what Nowsite has trained this AI to do, to be kind of over the top, complimentary and positive, very Cheryl-like, if you will, right? Chat GPT does not do this. Oh, that's right. You and Jack are on a commendable journey towards better health and fitness. It's fantastic that you're incorporating. Chat GPT doesn't do this from my knowledge. Does anybody want to contradict me? And that's fine if you do, but I want to know if I'm wrong. But keep up the great work. If you need any tips or encouragement, really? I'm here to support you on your path to peak fitness and health. Remember every step towards the journey. So it's all right here. So So what you put in here, just use your chat a lot. I need 170 characters or less description of myself as a business owner. Boom. Use your chat. I loved that I could look at this. Somebody gave me a bio for last week. I popped it in here and I'm like, I need this shorter. I need a 45-second bio that I can read about this person. And boom, it popped it out. I've used the speaking version on the app. I know we're getting away from social media here, but it's all related because what we train our AI, how we use our AI affects what we get on our social media as well. So one of the longer, I'm still looking for it, like here. So I think this will be my plan moving forward. And I spoke into the chat what I wanted because it was faster to speak than to type all of this. So use the app version of your AI. They sync right away. You do have to refresh. So if I put it in on the app on my phone and then I jump over to the computer, which I do, I just hit refresh and what I put on the phone and its response will immediately be on the computer. So they're very synced now. It's not two separate chats. Okay. So, Lisa, have we served you today?
Yes, I have some notes, new things to try this week.
You want to share?
The first one is to comment, like allocate enough time to do that. And then the commenting before the posting versus just posting and putting things out there. I also popped over and looked at LinkedIn to see some of the analytics on some of my posts, and they've actually been down a little bit, and I'm posting more. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Like past 7 days, I'm down 26% from week over week from last week.
And
So
your posts have been great. I've seen them.
oh, thanks. Thank you.
They really are. And what's great about your posts is that they're your photos
Yep.
with your face in them.
Yeah.
They actually should go up because typically people like to see those posts a little bit more. So yeah, this might be one reason. Go ahead.
That was what I was surprised about is that, wow, I've made more of an effort to make them more personal and customized. And then my views are down. So flipping that around.
Maybe it's the holiday too. We did have a holiday. Maybe
Oh,
people
Monday.
were,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thinking out loud.
Yeah. And while you were showing train your AI, I popped in there and gave it inspiration. I gave it some words to describe me and how I post. And so I started training my AI. I already saved that. So I'll update that just a little bit more. But that was good insight too. There were there were areas in there. I hadn't clicked on all the tabs, like write like me, think like me, and branding. So I need to go in and tweak those and refine those. And we talk about that all the time, tweaking our LinkedIn profiles, tweaking our Facebook profiles. So this actually made me think of, those conversations and when was the last time I looked at my bios in those and do they still represent who I am? And I already tweaked a couple of things in my story while we were talking. So,
Good.
and you've been to 23 countries and so had I before I went to South America.
No, you've been to more.
Just one more. Yeah. Now your turn. Yep. We
Okay.
keep tagging back and forth.
Awesome. Perfect.
I have
Yeah.
one more thing to mention real quick.
Yes. Yes,
I've heard
please.
a couple of influencers indicate that they like to post shortly after they wake up in the morning, including you, LeAnn, because that's when you post, and then at drive time in the evening, at least those two times. So by the time everybody who does work that 8 to 5 gets home, they can take a few minutes and look at the posts, most recent posts. Of course, in the morning constitutional, some people will take their phone in the bathroom
They
and check
will.
it out. Yep, they do. And so that's when they'll see posts too. If you get up in the morning, do your posts or have them scheduled, make sure they're there for them to see. So that's another thing.
And something I try not to think about too much. But Mary, I'm going to get to you in just a moment. I want to share one more thing while we're talking about that. The other thing that I think is underutilized, I'm terrible with this, is that, don't just use the surprise me button. They're working on that. There are going to be more a little more variety to what that surprise me button is, but it doesn't surprise me is always going to be personal. It's always going to be very much about you, which is great. But make sure that you go in and use these other options. Do a long post once in a while. They're really good. But caption and suggested image, long post, all of these intentionally select an objective.
Mhm.
Intentionally select a business profile once in a while. If you want to, you need to promote some of your stuff. You need to promote what you do. And then again, go into your business profiles, make sure that they're accurate. Delete ones you don't want it to access. Like I have so many in here that are just funny and for other people. Delete them. And you can adjust the tone right here.
Mhm.
So, use the full extent. Make sure that it's using your AI writing style and using your AI profile to write these posts. Back to the haters gonna hate. The other comment that somebody made in the group was they probably used AI to write that post, Stephen.
Mm.
They probably, to some degree, a
Yeah.
lot of people rewriting it, making it have more punch. People are using AI all the time, even the haters. Marvelous Mary had her hand up. We'll go there first, and then Stephen too.
You were talking about LinkedIn. Are you aware that you can check in LinkedIn to see what your sales status is? You can go to the linkedin.com /sales /SSI, and it's going to give you your stats to see how you're ranking.
Okay, I'm going there right now just to show everybody this instead of
Yes.
just tell. So let's see if I got this right. I was typing it in as you were
Sales.
saying. So,
Mm-hmm.
Stephen, did you know that? Because I know you do a lot with LinkedIn.
And it should be sales /SSI, and
Yeah.
it'll
So
pull up.
here, your social selling index, I'm a
Mhm.
top 2%. Woohoo.
See, that's great. So you get,
So
mhm,
yeah,
excellent.
this is cool. Yeah, this is something to note.
I didn't know if
Current
you
selling
did that.
index 68 out of 100. So I could
Mhm.
do better. People in my industry, people in my network. Sure. You know,
You get
wow,
25
everybody go
points
check yours
per.
out. Share your status in the
Top 20.
leaders. What's that?
I'm a top 20,
Good.
51 out of 100.
Okay.
And you
Great.
get
Anybody else
25
want to
points
share quickly because
per
they looked?
category.
What's that, Mary?
You get 25 points, I believe it is, per category. So
Okay.
you can go in and see how you can improve. Mine is still very low. I'm still just beginning to do more on LinkedIn. I think,
Okay. Well, look at
but
that. So I'm great at building relationships. Woohoo. I'm not
mhm,
surprised because that's what I really focus on.
mhm.
Establishing my professional brand could even do better. Finding the right people and engaging with insights. So interesting. I will have to check those things out. Mary, you're awesome.
This is awesome. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Stephen, you're up.
Well, first, thank you, Mary, because I was not aware of this. It does say I'm in the top 3% of the industry SSI and 8% of the network SSI. So I see where I need to improve now. Finding the right people is my biggest opportunity. But I also wanted to add, going back to the what time to post.
Yeah.
Something I learned from the Ray Higdon training is decision makers use LinkedIn um, to do their uh, what's the word I'm looking for? To investigate what they're going businesses that they're going to invest in or partner with or buy. They do their investigations around 7 to 8 p.m. over 60% of the time.
Wow.
So if you're trying to attract business decision makers, then you want to make a business post in the evening or have it scheduled in the evening. And not everybody can schedule post I learned that, but I schedule post in the evening so I don't have to sit there and remind myself to jump on. So on LinkedIn, I can go in there and schedule. I try to schedule most of my posts for the week so that I'm not tied to the computer and I can, take my wife to grocery shopping in the middle of the day and I'm still online.
Let's hear it for freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we do, why we do. Most of us want to work for ourselves. Thank you, Stephen. That's awesome. And actually brought to mind something else, Lisa, about the why engagement could be down. LinkedIn is a business platform.
Yeah.
So keeping in mind business related topics are typically going to do better. That's why I love that we can choose the audience according on those social posts when we create them. Post the LinkedIn post on LinkedIn. Get the LinkedIn version of your post. So if you're not using, maybe use Nowsite to create the post, to even though you're going to use your photo and your idea. Do you know what I'm talking about, Lisa?
I do. And I think part of why mine is down is like it says I had 500 impressions last week, and this week I'm at 291, or the past 7 days I'm 291. So I must have had a really big day on one of those posts early, and then just kind of some slower ones because that 7 days is rotating.
Yeah.
Um,
Right. And there was a holiday.
yeah, and that was what, when Mary said that, was like, oh, I need to go look at the days. Or Diane, yeah, I think it was Mary that said, or
Yeah.
maybe Lady Di said that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and once again, just to, if you got the LinkedIn audience, that's the same audience as what you might want to post on Alignable. So when you get to the LinkedIn, Alignable is a kind of a local LinkedIn. So if you want to meet people locally, and this is especially good if you're working with realtors and well, insurance people can go a lot more places, but realtors are very local. A restaurant is very local. A
Mhm.
chiropractor is very local. They can really only attract people to their practice for at least some of what they're doing, within a very close area. Alignable is great for them because they're not connecting with people in Europe. They're connecting with people in their own cities. So check out Alignable if you're not on it already. It might be worth doing. I'm trying to put some posts over there each week. I'm trying to get to it every day. Stephen, you're really good on Alignable. Anything to add to that?
Yeah, I just copy my LinkedIn post and post it to Alignable and the World Referral Network that I just recently joined. I just use the same content there.
Yeah. And yeah, that's a good point. So
And don't forget groups. If you're a member of industry groups, post within those groups, comment within those groups, and that will get your impressions and engagement up as well.
yeah, like I did earlier in this video, that was a group for the reason that potentially I just got in front of 125,000 people with that one comment because they're all invested into that group. Johnny, your hand is up, and then we do need to wrap up pretty quickly. But Johnny and Marvelous Mary, you get last words.
Just a quick question.
Yeah,
How do you make sure when you showed us that Facebook icon, the world, how
yeah.
do you make sure that that's set up right?
If you just click on it, it will tell you what your audience is and give you the option to change it.
Oh, okay.
So
Thank
that's,
you.
yeah, quick and easy answer. Yep. Mary.
I was going to say, don't forget Nextdoor. Nextdoor is
Oh,
another
yeah,
local platform that you can post on,
yeah.
and just copy and share those same posts to Nextdoor when you're looking for more local exposure.
Yeah.
Yay,
And
beautiful.
Nextdoor has, you can create a business profile on Nextdoor as well.
Mhm.
Yep.
And if you go in and just post and not trying to advertise, you can get more traction, because otherwise when it comes to advertising, they're going to want you to pay. So if you
Yeah.
just go in from an expert perspective, or just sharing information, education perspective, you'll get a lot more traction and you won't have to pay.
Yeah. Yeah, last week I told you on this call that the next day was National Leadership Day. And
Mhm.
I I had a post created for me, but you can create a post. And I shared that pretty broadly. I did it on LinkedIn, I did it on Alignable. I sent it to leaders, some leaders, everybody in that, Justin and Cheryl and Adrian, Tom, they got leadership appreciation from me. And that again, look for opportunities to post about and to raise other people up. You can do that in Nextdoor
Mhm.
too, right?
Recommendations as well. Make.
Recommendations are amazing. Yeah. Hey, how awesome was today's meeting, you guys, on a scale from 1 to 10? Right?
It's good.
This was great.
Right.
So
Okay.
many takeaways here. So this is
Yeah.
fun. Thank you for being here. We do this every Monday, 9 a.m. Central. This is, the Joyminder Leaders League because you're all leaders and we're in league to help each other grow and prosper. And I'm just so grateful to every single one of you here. So thank you very much. We will be back next week. This recording will go up on our website. So if you're looking at this video on YouTube or Vimeo or some other platform, come on over and look for our website as well. And you can get more information and see other videos too. Have a beautiful day.
The website name, if you're going to be saying it out.
Yeah, it's joy-minder-leaders-league, which will be in the comments description of any platform I
Okay.
put this on. So there we go. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Oh, let me save the
Bye.
chat. I forgot to.